Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And that's the true story about how Snoop Dogg got his name. I'm telling you right now. Welcome back.
And how many times can you have a dog?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dads podcast here on our
Friday.
usual time slot on a Friday night. Been a great week, Sid. Good to have you back. Listeners, viewers,
Awesome.
Good to have you all back. Welcome. How you been, my
It's
man?
a lovely evening. It's a lovely evening.
Yes.
In Melbourne.
It's a long weekend in Melbourne.
It's a long weekend. It's a perfect storm for a Friday. It's a perfect storm.
Is it? Wow.
It's we're on right on the edge of the cliff of that long weekend.
Yes.
Finally, at the end of the day, I literally just got home.
Wow. Geez, that's a long day. Where were
The
you?
J-Man in the car, yeah.
Oh, did you go to do the pickup?
Just do some work as well.
Yeah.
So it was just, everything was happening at the
right.
same time. But no, I feel good. Feel
ready
recharged. We're raring to go.
Raring to go.
It is the Two Dads podcast. We are the Two Dads, not just because there's one and two of us.
Nope. It's because
we are just too much like dads. Some point that's going to turn into a hip hop song. I'm not going to do it, but we'll make it happen.
Get Snoop Dogg to produce it. Reach out to Dr. Dre.
The doggy dog.
Reach out to Dr. Dre. But yes, we are too much like dads, and like dads. If you're new to this podcast, if you're not new, you know what's coming next. But if you are new to this podcast, there's two things. There are two factors which make dads too much like dads. And those are, Sid, if you mind sharing.
Those are the puns.
Yep.
If you're not punny, you're not funny.
I see what you did there.
If you're a dad, if you're not punny, you're not funny. It's the puns and it's the jokes.
Mm-hmm. The dad jokes. The jokes that after you tell one, that's right. And the jokes that, when you say it, you've said it right when you hear dad. That's when you know you've done it right. But yes, we've and then we're going to get into a topic. We're not going to get into it right now, but as you know, this podcast is about two dads and too much like dads, but it's about writing a love letter to common sense about a topic which I know nothing about. I never do.
Philip knows nothing about.
Nothing about it. I will find out when Sadiq shares with us. But before we get to that,
and I literally only worked it out like a half an hour ago. So
on the drive back.
I had a few options on the table.
That's all right.
On the drive back from the office.
That's it. So we're gonna kick it off with the good stuff first, just to get.
We're gonna head right into it.
Oh, we're gonna head right into it.
We're gonna head right into it. If there's a robbery at an Apple store, what are you?
I know. I feel like I should know these answers.
Well, if there was a robbery at the Apple store while you were in it, you'd be an eyewitness.
Yes, you would. That's great.
Yeah. I've got a lot of puns for
great
for this week.
That's
I was just wondering on which one I was going to go with. So I've got a few.
No. I'm glad you went with that one. Eyewitness is perfect.
No.
Oh, that's not even
joke.
it.
That's a joke.
That's not even the pun.
Not a pun.
Oh, here we go. Now we got the pun. We got the. Where are you taking us? Where in Australia are you taking us? Or is this along your travels?
I've got some.
Here we go.
I haven't seen
normally
myself.
when there's this sort of silence, there's something coming up on the screen, YouTubers. So brace yourself. If you're on Spotify, thank you for joining us on Spotify. But head over to our Two Dads podcast YouTube channel and you get to see me filling in space while Sid's trying to get something up on the screen, and you get to see all the funny stuff that we put up. It's great.
I got it, but I didn't know.
There it is.
Which one I was going to laugh about it more. This is not that cafe. It's the one over here.
As soon as I read it. Where's the cafe? Over here.
Over here.
Over here. You know that cafe. You know the one? The one over there. No. The over here.
It's over here. And this is what I drove past.
Oh, man. That's brilliant.
This is freelance.
Jeez,
Fully freelancing.
Just on the photo that we're looking at here, there's a lot of electrical wiring happening there. What's going on?
Well, it is the angle of the dangle. So it's how it.
Look at that.
It's how it appears once you have it on the screen. So
there you go. That's
the over here cafe. It is not over there. It's over here. Where is it? It's over here. And it's a dual pun because it's got over here as if you overhear something that was going on.
But then the one that
I did find myself at an appointment this morning with a client, and we went for coffee.
Yeah.
And there was a quite for middle-aged for couple that were meeting for the first time.
Really?
It was awkward. It was awkward because we're sitting there having the coffee and you can hear the conversation.
Really?
It was Tinder date.
Oh, it was a Tinder date.
But with very well aged.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey.
Man and lady. So
that's
it was just that whole. Yeah.
It doesn't take much to learn the app. It doesn't matter. Got to upskill.
It was rather amusing. And the other thing I found as well. Have you ever thought about, okay, I like using a scooter, an electric scooter.
Electric scooter? I've seen them. They look good.
Some people that like using electric scooters also enjoy a slab of beer.
Well, why not? Is that technically drinking and driving?
You would think, right?
No, you can. Well, hang on a second. If you go to the shop to get a slab of beer, you can't put it anywhere. So,
Yeah, well,
carry it. You can put it in the front. And
how would you do it?
There's no 3 liter door pocket. That's for sure. I'm not going to put it in the door pocket. Does that fit in your Rexton slab of beer? Have you tried?
Look, I don't think we'll be able to go that far.
Can I tell you something? One place in the world that could quite easily transport more than one slab of beer on a motorcycle or on some sort of 2-wheeled vehicle. You go to any of those Indonesian countries, man. They fit a whole family on those things.
A whole family on there, yeah.
Oh, you watch them and you think, but everyone knows what to do. Everyone understands what they got to just sit there and then lean with the. It's brilliant to watch how they do that. I love it. Got everyone.
I've oversold this, man. It's not showing up on the.
Oh no! But 5 people.
Hang on, no, just
on a Vespa.
Keep talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm the filler. That's what the Uberman does, my man.
As we know, failure is fun.
Oh, hey, failure was a catalyst in this podcast a couple of episodes ago. It was great. But sounds to me,
but it's literally not showing up. Like it's showing up in one part, but not the other.
Hang on, you know why? It's because you need to bring it over here. That's why. See what I did? That's why.
No, I've lost that one. So anyway,
we're moving on.
Let's go back to the puns.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the other puns. No, it's just not showing up.
But a scooter. When we're talking a scooter, we mean like the small electric scooters. We're not talking like a Vespa. Yeah. Right?
I think it's the.
That's what we're talking about. I've seen those
scooters. That it is not.
But those scooters
recognized.
I tell you what, they move those scooters.
Oh yeah, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, they move. Like I don't know what sort of k per hour they do, but they move. What have we got here?
So if you want to go to the florist,
yes,
you can go for Buds the florist.
Buds.
Buds the florist.
Look at that. How good's that? Play on words.
Oh,
that's a good one.
That's the other thing I forgot. Sorry, I'm just going to sidetrack from the fact that our technology is just not working.
That's
today.
Fine. That makes it all more enjoyable.
The over here place is right opposite for Jacked Up.
Jacked Up, the Jacked Up coffee place.
Is that where it is? On the other side of the road. Yeah. So I don't know if there's some sort of a war for puns going on down Turak Road, but
pun war.
it is a pun war
for Jacked Up. Hey,
and here's another one. I just thought it was amusing.
Hide and seek.
Yeah, it's a cafe.
Hide and seek.
Yeah. So it's on the corner of the Hyde Street. So
is it?
Called it.
So
it's hide and seek.
There you go. Clever.
Hide and seek.
Clever. That's a nice little play on words. Again, this is in your travels.
Yep. This is
as
just
always.
Yeah. Out and about.
Out and about. I like the hide and seek, but the over here cafe. That was a ripper. But hey, come very close to very close to Artie Farty. Artie Farty's still a personal favourite of mine.
Artie Farty's still your champion place.
I love the Artie Farty. It's if we ever need to redecorate, I know where I'm going. They'll have exactly what I need. Just walk in, ask for something Artie Farty. Yep, got it. Good one.
So, episode
22.
22.
22.
Should we have to fact that? Should we have to fact check that?
No.
Sure, it's episode
100% episode 22. 100%. Yes, it is definitely. I've got it written here. I've got it written down. I've got my book where I write down the episode, and then what I do is I put one word EP 22, and then you tell me what it is, and we all find out. So let's get into it.
And there's no chance of a mistake.
No chance of a mistake. Not after the debacle of episode 15 or something like that. So
we messed up.
We messed up.
Okay, there's a lot been happening for this week. So episode number 22 of the Two Dads podcast is the comedian is Putin China into the Arctic.
Oh my God.
Bit of a mouthful, this one.
Wow. The comedian.
I'll say it again. The comedian is Putin China into the Arctic.
Into the Arctic. Wow. Now let's
just the underlining
the Fibonacci code that you've just unleashed on us, and then we'll get talking about it. And why is what's to do with what's
it was a comparison because they're both comedians.
Oh, of course. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of
and if anyone's seen the Seinfeld episode,
so
shout out for Steve, who we did have this conversation the week. There's an episode of Seinfeld where there's a Russian woman, and she's obsessed with all the comedians because in the for culture for Russian for Russia, the comedian is very highly regarded.
Oh, really?
As an aphrodisiac for women.
Wow. Okay, here we go. Jeez, we're learning everything here on the Two Dads podcast.
But that is a Seinfeld episode. Right. So if you like Seinfeld, please have a look up the one for the comedian. So the episode 22 is called "The Comedian is Putin China into the Arctic."
Wow. All right.
So I need everyone to. Yeah, I need everyone to just clear their minds a little bit and to come with me on the journey of common sense.
Okay, here we go.
We're hopping into the ship of common sense.
Right.
The only fruit you're allowed on the ship is for navel oranges. So I just like you.
I like it. We're tying in episodes. It's great.
To remind everyone.
Tell us. Yep. Tell us.
That we at the Two Dads podcast are not ones to, are not ones to espouse conspiracy theories. This is not a conspiracy theory. Okay?
No, that's right.
We are all about fact.
Yep.
Not fiction.
Correct. That's exactly what we're trying to talk about.
So everyone, can you just take a sip of your of the beverage of choice and
sipping. Go.
Come with me on something that is about to maybe blow your mind just a little bit.
Okay.
Because it is both shocking and logical at the same time. But it's a way you've never thought of how things are actually for moving into the background as to what is happening in the world stage as we know it. So as the fuel price heads towards for $3 a litre, you may have to sell for one of your children, in order to having to fill up your car.
I know. I've got to put fuel in. I was calculating how much I'm going to have to pay. Jesus. I might have to. Anyway, mate, you need a second job.
So the comedian we all should know is the president of the Ukraine, who has shot ahead amongst other world leaders and just become the uber leader.
Tell you what, hasn't he? He's putting the leaders of the Western world to shame.
Yeah.
You line the Western leaders up.
And he was the Stephen Bradbury of the political world for the Ukraine.
Well, a lot of the others are old enough to fall over and not get back up.
He didn't expect to actually win.
Wow. No, that's right. I mean, compared to Boris and Biden and some of the others that are flying
Sleepy
around.
Joe.
He's and good on him too. Kudos to him to step up. He's stepping up big time. Clearly the right choice.
And all his fellow Ukrainians are with him. Well, for the most part, anyway.
Yeah.
The ones that are not for Russia.
Yeah.
Obviously, while they get invaded or for liberated, as what is said by Russia.
Liberated. Yeah.
So the underline for this topic, which I know you're going to give me the raised eyebrow.
I'm going to give you the rock, mate.
The big in the bold print under what is the topic of this week's podcast is what are the Chinese doing in the Arctic? Okay. I bet you've never thought of that sentence ever.
No, I didn't even realize.
What are the Chinese
are they in the Arctic?
Doing in the Arctic?
Are they in there?
Well, I have props.
Oh, geez. What'd you get? Pull the Lego out.
I've gone all out.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
I've gone all out.
Wow.
On props because it requires some visual representation. Okay. So this is a bit. It's not out there. What I'm trying to say. It's just not something that you've actually had in the realms of. Now I understand.
Okay.
Right, because we need to think North Pole, the Arctic, right? So this is right up the top.
Yep, right at the very top.
Right.
Understand.
And here's Russia.
Yes.
We go a little bit over. Here's Alaska.
Yes, which is a US state.
That is a part of America.
Yep. You've got Greenland.
And you've got all Greenland, Inuit,
Got a few countries
now
up there.
this whole area, there's only a handful of countries that have all the control over what's going on.
Yeah.
Russia we're all well aware that the polar ice caps are melting.
Yes.
Right? I think that's established,
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously for climate change. And we all know what's going on. So the Arctic Circle was previously not an area for shipping because it's frozen.
Yeah.
You need icebreakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it's not used as a route for shipping. Now, I'm being a little bit rudimentary with my explanation at first, but we'll bring everything in once we get into it. So we've got Alaska.
Yep.
Right. We've got then your Siberian regions. You got all this is Siberia.
It's all the top end of Russia. Yep.
Obviously, anyone can look on their own version of the world map to see it. Now,
you get to the Scandinavian countries, right? Yeah.
Siberia.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah, China's way south.
China. Okay.
Yep.
So let me see if I can explain to you where I'm coming from here. So this is our friends.
Yeah, China's all the way down there. It's pretty far south from the.
From China. This is Russia.
Yep.
This is the Arctic.
Yep.
Now, shipping. Remember how you need to bring your navel oranges?
Yes. Have to go.
There is Nanjing, Beijing.
Yep, all on the coast there.
It's all here. So most of the shipping from China, from all the factories, because China is the factory of the world, has to come all the way around, right?
Yep.
Then go through the Arabian Sea.
Yep. Go through the to get to the
and then go through the Gulf. Go through Egypt and
get to Mediterranean
and the Suez
Canal. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to get into the Mediterranean to get into Europe. Okay. Agreed. This trip takes on average around 40 days.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And that's all the shipping to get from China to Europe.
Geez, that just puts in perspective how many ships are on the seas at any one time. Wow.
Okay, now let's head back to our dear, very sane friends in Russia for Mr. Putin.
Yep.
And look where Siberia is, Greenland, your Arctic Circle.
Yep.
So Siberia and also sort of Alaska, due to the polar ice caps melting, that has allowed more exploration.
Yep.
Almost half, I'll say it again, almost half of the natural gas in the world is here.
Really? Half?
Almost half.
Wow. Still.
It's now becoming accessible because the polar ice caps are melting. Right?
Right.
So Xi Jinping and for Mr. Putin have met 38 times. More than any other world leader.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, we all know the bit of hand in glove going on.
So again, Russia, China. Russia, China. Only for Mongolia is separating for Russia and China. But they used to be very far apart in ideology and very far apart for everything else. But now they've drawn closer because for China is now going to a lot of these little Arctic for nations, especially for Greenland, Iceland. Can you remember what happened to Iceland when the financial crisis happened? All the banks.
Oh yeah, they
involved in Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think happened to all those people that needed to sell land? Who do you think was standing there at the doorway?
Got the money.
With the checkbook. Yeah.
Cash. It wasn't the Italians with cash, I'll tell you that much.
Our Chinese friends. Chinese friends. So that's the reason for the aid for visual.
Right.
Arctic Circle.
Yep.
Our friends from China are heavily investing in the Arctic Circle. Little islands, just
buying up
land. Now it's becoming accessible because the polar ice cap is melting. It's not solidly frozen. So now the more land we have up here, the more places we can have for ports. Okay?
Yep.
Shipping. Not only for goods, also energy. Remember I said nearly half of the CNG is now in the Arctic Circle.
Yep.
So in between Alaska and the regions controlled by Russia in Siberia is nearly half of the gas.
Wow.
So can you remember how I showed you how long it takes to get from mainland China
all the way down
into Europe?
Yeah, it's 40 days and it's a fair whack.
if we were to ship from some ports in the Arctic Circle, we're looking at 11 days.
11, I suppose, because you go the other side, you go around Russia.
Because you just go
to
here,
Norway, right?
Yeah, and then you're right at England, Norway.
Yeah.
So it's so much of a shorter trip, and for global warming is making it so much more accessible.
Well,
not only to the hard pack ice now, they're able to explore all these regions because it's not solidly frozen.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is what China is doing in the Arctic.
Looking to mine.
And for Putin's land grab for the Ukraine is the only state that separates him and Europe. And if he is gaining full control of the Ukraine, he's gaining full control of the energy going into Europe, which is a significant. It's almost half the energy for Europe comes through Russia.
Wow.
So you can see where I'm heading. It's not a conspiracy theory.
No.
It's what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And both for China and for Russia, don't have to worry about elections.
No, well,
there's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
China is going for resources.
Yeah.
Because China needs to keep,
of course,
China running.
Yeah.
So it needs to keep making the factories.
Yeah.
Now, I've got another mind-blowing thing for you.
Wow.
In between, now we go all the way to Africa. So in the Congo, which is here.
Yeah, it's about halfway. Yeah, about halfway. Yeah, Congo.
The Congo contains 70%, 70% of the world's cobalt.
The mineral cobalt.
The element.
The element, I should say.
Yeah, it's a mineral.
Yeah.
Now, this mineral is essential for batteries.
Right. Yep.
And
70%.
And Philip, I hear you say, who owns 90% of the mines in the Congo?
So, mate. Yeah, mate, G. Winnie.
Oh, G is all up in the Congo.
G's all Congoed up.
G is all up in the Congo. Now, there's also a mineral that is required for all the electronic processes that between the Ukraine and Russia, that's 60% of the world's supply.
Are you kidding?
Comes from the Ukraine and Russia. This is
really?
essential in making for microchips.
In that one spot, 60% that they've found so far.
Out of all the supply in the rest of the world, that's where that comes from.
Jeez.
So, for cobalt, 70% of the world's cobalt comes from the Congo.
I see where we're going here.
Yep.
I see where we're going.
So again, I'm going to iterate that I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't like the conspiracy theories. I like dealing with fact.
What's the
that is fact.
The best way to gain control. It's about controlling what you can pull out of the ground.
That's right.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And the Chinese are all up in Africa.
Wow.
Because that's where so much resources comes from. So much poverty, slave labor.
Yeah. Wow.
And also the child labor is in all these mines. You know, it's anarchy. But no other Western country can deal with what's going on in the Congo because it doesn't fall inside our moral guidelines.
Yeah. Whereas
the Chinese are not too concerned about about the outcome of that. The same as the Russians,
they're thinking about
let's throw some bombs
different.
right on the fence line of the largest for nuclear power station in Europe. That's fine. That's not dangerous at all.
So really, what we're looking at here is it's just interesting. A lot of activity and decisions have been made around gaining better control around important resources.
Yeah.
Because then it's like anything, right? If you can control a resource, it's like a game of chess. When you think
That's
about
right.
it. It's like a game of chess, right?
The Chinese and the Russians have worked out that they can be the ones to make the checkmate. And it's not going to be some overt a military solution. It is simply economics.
Yep.
Supply
and demand. Supply and demand. You control the supply, you control the demand.
Yeah, so I'm just going to make it so I know it's a very wide-ranging thing that I'm trying to say, but it is a little mind-blowing because no one is paying attention to what's happening in the Arctic.
I'm just saying.
No one is paying attention.
Well, it's one thing that sort of raised an eyebrow going, a lot of attention's on Putin at the moment. I can understand why. It's awful. It's a humanitarian problem. But then everything on the China side has gone very quiet.
That's right.
And it's like kids, right? It's like
when they're quiet,
kids, And this is a two dads thing. Right? When you hear kids screaming and carrying on, I do your head in, but you go, right, I know what they are. They're carrying on. I've asked them to be quiet. But as soon as there's silence, those two dads' spidey senses go, what are those kids up to? What are they doing? What have they found? And what are they doing that they maybe they shouldn't be doing? So that's, but surely, and I don't like being conspiracy theorists.
And there's a pipeline. There's a pipeline going in from Alaska.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. All this is in the process in the background, but at the moment, so much of the pipelines actually go through the Ukraine into Europe. So Russia, again, it's Siberia, man.
But someone must be keeping tabs on what's going on. I mean, there'd be agencies.
No one has the control. All these little...
Yeah. Wow.
You can see all these little land masses.
Well, that's all you need.
Some of them only have a population of maybe 100,000.
Yeah, wouldn't be much.
And after the global financial crisis...
They needed help.
Global financial crisis. Who's holding the checkbook? Who is throwing investment their way for infrastructure and everything else that because of a small landlocked population in a very isolated place, the Chinese are stepping in and go, we'll help you with that power station. We'll help you with the roads. We'll help you with your...
But I guess that's my point.
With the banks.
But that's my point. There'd be people there would be agencies keeping tabs on all of this.
No.
Surely. You don't think? Keep an eye
There's a few people saying things, but it's way beyond their resistance. Like how are they going to resist? So the shipping is 11 days.
Wow.
From a port here into Europe versus 40.
Yeah, to go the other way around.
And they can go now because the ice is not as thick anymore. It's not as plentiful.
What if that could change though? I mean, it won't change straight away.
It's not going to go backwards, man.
Not going to go backwards?
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's starting to get cold in Melbourne.
Soon for Darwin would be like an inland sea. But again, I keep stressing, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's what's actually happening in increments.
Yeah, well, if you do your research.
The Russians and the Chinese are getting more used to working with each other. 38 times. Xi Jinping has met Putin's.
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
I mean, even if over a 10-year period, that's nearly 4 times a year. You get some, world leaders that lucky if they meet once ever. Once ever. Man, well, resources are what make the world go round. Economics is what make the world go round. So I think as much
the comedian
well, so
is inadvertently helping this process along.
Oh.
Because everyone's attention is moved away.
Well, I guess sometimes, to catch the fox, you got to think like the fox, right? There's a diversion happening. Why is that happening?
That's what I'm saying.
Now?
That's why I think
the thing. That's the one thing that sort of raised my eyebrow with the unfortunate war that's happening. I mean, why go through with that? I mean, what's there to gain? And that's the question, right? What's there to gain? Because Russia's a massive country, but there must be another underlying reason why it's important for this to work.
It's to gain the control of
resources,
the light switch for the rest of Europe. And the Chinese will work their way in to be able to ship the goods
and benefit from it, and then Europe are
they've always been trying to look for a way, because they're actually all held to ransom for the Suez. Because I mean, we've all probably seen the videos, but that tiny sliver, like all the ships have to come through here in order to get to Europe, because if they go the other way, that's massive. Look at it.
Nah, it's too much.
And you need
to go all the way down the bottom past South America,
and you end up in for Mexico. So it's not going to help. But if they can go this way, it's half the distance.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the ice caps started melting. So global warming.
So there's a good reason why.
They've got no interest to stop global warming, because it's helping the factories. Sorry, people, to blow your mind on a Friday night, but this is...
No, it's a fair, and I think the common sense is you sort of need to be aware of that. Sometimes it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. You've got to look at all the pieces that are in play, just like a game of chess, and try and piece together why. But there seems to be logic. Absolutely, there seems to be logic as to what you're saying. And unfortunately,
I'm
there's
just
collateral
trying to
damage.
build the logic.
But there's collateral damage which they're prepared to take, really. And that's that war. The war at the moment is the collateral damage, which they're more than happy to do.
They're prepared to go down that path.
Yeah.
And I know we've always had in the background for what is the maybe for Taiwan. Now, there's been some analysts that have tried to work out scenarios for I don't even think it's if anymore, when the Chinese finally decide to reassimilate for Taiwan.
Yep. Well, Hong Kong's happened, right?
Well, Hong Kong was always going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying.
Just had to
wait. Always a question mark, right?
Yeah.
It was always a question mark, and it's happened.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Right,
and you are free to vote in Hong Kong as long as you choose from the 5 that you chose that you're free to elect any one of the 5 that we have in front of you.
That's it.
So that's the Chinese.
You got options, but these are your 5 options.
Yeah. We're happy to give you the options.
Go for it.
But we can give you 90 candidates if you want, but we choose them all. So for Taiwan, just to bring it all again into that fact and logic, and reason, Taiwan is only 130 km from mainland China.
It's not far, is it?
It's not far, is it?
It's not far.
Not far at all.
What's
so
that?
From where I lived to one of the power stations is 180 km.
There you go.
So I can easily do that in an afternoon.
Yeah, well, make sure you got a full tank and an extra couple.
So how long do you think Taiwan will be able to hold off?
Oh,
I'll
give them a bit of a chance.
A few analysts have done.
Tea.
11 hours, apparently.
11 hours?
Yeah, is about all they could stand. And then they'd be overrun.
Have you seen the Chinese, just the naval army, taking the
Navy.
take the oranges out of it?
Yeah.
Have you seen what their naval, have you seen the size of the, my God. That alone.
So for me, it's exactly the same situation as what we're dealing with for Russia. It's just a strategic for strategy and propaganda and for control.
Mm-hmm.
And there is literally zero that any other, especially the Americans, no one's going to go to war with China over Taiwan.
No.
There'll be a lot of angry faces. There'll be a lot of, it's probably easier to sanction for Russia than what it is for China.
There's no point sanctioning China. They'll get you nowhere.
It's not going to get anywhere.
What's that? It'll just mean it'll hurt us if we sanction them.
Yeah. I don't know how many people have for Russian cars in their driveways.
Well, that's right.
How many?
Do they make any? Do they make Russian cars?
Lada. There's a Lada.
Lada? What's a Lada?
A Lada Niva.
Really? I suppose it's more in Europe, right? It's not here in Australia. I've never seen one.
Yeah, but they still sell them in Europe.
That's what I'm saying. But you're right. We wouldn't sanction China. If we sanction China, we wouldn't get anything imported. We get nothing.
It's the factory of the world. You just wouldn't be able to. It wouldn't happen at all.
Wow.
So I think Xi Jinping is just seeing how all this.
That's why he's been quiet about it all.
Yeah, and they'll make their move.
Yeah, that's why he's been quiet.
So Winnie the Pooh will roll up.
Hasn't denounced anything. But that's why.
Yeah.
After 38 times, surely we've had one conversation about this. I'm sure in those 38 meetings there's been conversations of some sort.
So the questions people should be asking is, what are the Chinese doing in the Arctic? What are the Chinese doing in the Arctic?
Yeah, well, they're not here anymore in Australia.
Buying up land like the Vikings have just ran on the other side of the hill.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I actually didn't realize they were. A lot of the countries in the Arctic region, a lot of the countries in the Arctic region have not recovered from the global financial crisis.
No, because they're just so small.
Yeah.
Their economies would have got crushed.
Yeah.
That's why.
So the only ones investing in their economies are the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And the Russians have Siberia.
Yep.
The ice cap melting is allowed for further exploration. And that's what I said. They've got half of the world's gas.
Wow. Natural gas. That's insane. Yep.
So.
That's insane. There you go. Episode 22.
So weddings are so beautiful.
Oh, here we go. We've switched gears.
And emotional.
We've switched gears.
So weddings are so beautiful and emotional.
They are.
Even the cakes have tears. I'm trying a different angle with the jokes this time.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I like it.
Even the cakes have tears.
They have tears. That's a good one. Jeez, and some tell you what, the old school weddings used to have some ridiculously tiered cakes. Like, we're not talking too.
How many of the videos have you seen where someone, where they're slicing the cake and the whole thing falls over?
Funniest Home videos, mate. At least one of those on every single episode of Australia's Funniest Home Video. Remember that? I remember that. That's a thing to say.
I'm really, really upset though, because I really want to send a message out to whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, I just want to send a message out to everyone. You know who you are.
Yeah.
I vow to you, I will find you. You have my word.
Oh, God. That terrible. So good it was terrible. Wow. I tell you what, you've dragged the two dads down to a whole new level
of dad jokes.
Oh, it's brilliant. You have my word.
Whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word.
What else you got on that list of yours?
Well, there's one I've been wanting to tell from the start. Then I know you will remember this one.
Okay.
It was from a show that they used to have. I think it was in the 80s, which there's no way that they'd be allowed to make this now.
Oh.
They used to put a peanut butter on the lips of the monkeys and have the monkeys in clothes so they could.
This is.
I can't remember what it was called.
Lancelot Link. It was called Lancelot Link. Yes, I remember watching this. Is that how they did it? They put peanut butter so they would move their lips.
Peanut butter so they keep moving their lips and put some costumes on them.
I used to watch Lancelot Link.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember this. Brilliant.
So the penguin had some car trouble.
Oh.
And the penguin, he took his car into the mechanics.
Yeah.
So while the mechanic was having a look at his car, the penguin went over the street and he decided to go and have some ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously while he was there, he's a penguin. He's got flippers.
Yeah.
So he was trying to hold the ice cream and he spilt all the ice cream all over himself.
Yeah.
So then he just, so he walks back over the road to see the mechanic, and the mechanic walks out and says, "Mate, it looks like you've blown a seal." And he said, "No, it's only ice cream."
That's great. Oh, that's great.
I remember seeing that joke
have to
show.
Make sure I check mark
so
not
funny.
for kids, not for kids on the YouTube upload. But Lancelot Link, if you can, I'm gonna find a clip and I'll add a clip, YouTube clip. I'll put it in
link
in the description.
In a link down the bottom.
I'll find one because it was some funny ad lib over the top and it was hilarious. We watched it a few times.
So it was a show where they used monkeys and had them
right?
in.
They were chimpanzees.
In human clothes, and had some sort of a scenario happening. So how they used to get the monkeys to move their lips is to rub peanut butter on the monkey's lips.
Lancelot Link. I'll have to remember that.
I'm glad you remembered the name.
I do remember the name because we watched it as kids. I remember we watched it. I used to go down to my cousin's beach house. It was on during the school holidays. And we used to sit there and absolutely just rolling around on the floor watching these scenes. It was great.
But now with animal rights, no one. I don't think anyone could
cancel
make
culture.
that anymore.
Yeah, the cancel culture would say no. It's not
but
right.
you can't really be doing that to monkeys anyway.
No, it's just peanut butter.
Feels a little wrong.
It's peanut butter.
It's not like they're on
some sort of
some roller skates in a circus.
No, that's right. They're just hey, you know. What do you?
I've been wanting to say that joke for a while. It's a little bit
good one.
but...
It's a good one. What else you got in there? What else you got in the little bag of tricks?
Well, I did start a little bit of a news segment last week called Dad's Cars.
Oh,
so,
yeah. What have you got now?
I just really,
slowly.
I know with.
Slowly.
I feel ashamed.
You're doing it China. You're just making it into a car show.
Just
it's
moving in.
It's just...
Next thing you know, it'll be welcome
to the car show.
Dad's Cars.
And you're probably in the Rexton.
It's the best four-wheel driving show in Australia.
Have a look at this three little bottle of milk in my door pocket.
We put 9 liters of milk in this car, only in the pockets.
Oh man! So show us.
So
Dad's Cars.
What as you would know, I am as you may or may not know, but I'm quite the Mazda-phile.
You are.
I was in the MX-5 for car club. I had an MX-5. I raced one.
Mm-hmm.
I've even been published in the magazine.
Oh, have you?
Writing articles. Yeah.
Really?
I've been. It's very nerdy.
It's all right.
Like I knew all that there was to be known about MX-5s.
Wow.
Now, Mazda has come up with a new SUV called the CX-60.
Looks nice.
Looks
very nice.
This is a dad's car.
How so?
Rear-wheel drive.
Wow, really?
6-cylinder.
Holy. Rear-wheel drive?
Rear-wheel drive. That's what I'm saying. Look at it.
Ah, look at that.
Rear-wheel drive. 6-cylinder.
Turbo?
Comes in petrol and diesel.
Turbo? Turbo option?
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow, that's borderline performance.
When everyone
vehicle.
else is going electric and 4-cylinder hybrid, and it is a PHEV as well. It's a plug-in hybrid.
Oh, is it? Is
those of you
it is a PHEV.
Remember from our sort of electric future show?
Yeah. It's a
the
PHEV.
PHEV is a plug-in hybrid, so you have the option of using the electric motor and the battery when you choose it, and you can.
Well, if you got one of these now,
yeah,
petrol's $2 something,
and you can use the charger at your shopping center.
There you go.
That's have a look out for it. The Mazda CX-60.
That's very nice.
It is
it's got good lines to it.
It has for the dad's seal of approval.
Yeah, it has some nice. Mazdas do. I mean, you can't go wrong with Mazdas as far as their design.
Yep. And nice. Serviceability.
Rear-wheel drive.
I know. Isn't that the part that really?
That's the part that really grabs you. Make you go.
Hooks you.
I want to go down and check this car out.
Rear-wheel drive.
That's not something that you really get these days.
So the idea behind the CX-60 is that it's an SUV version of everything that people love about an MX-5.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it is one of the things.
For these.
It is one of the things that makes the Rexon so enjoyable because it's
rear-wheel drive.
It's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I have the option to switch to four-wheel drive and for low range. So
yeah.
But most SUVs are front-wheel drive.
Yes, they are.
Which dynamically, it's how it drives and how it feels under certain circumstances are not the same.
No, completely different.
So,
rear-wheel drive, baby.
Yeah. So,
I remember
Dad's cars for this week.
My first car was rear-wheel drive. Remember
the Cortina?
The Cortina, the canary yellow Cortina. Jeez, great car.
Still got a photo, you know that.
Yeah, I got a photo too.
You don't want me to show that photo?
Oh, mate.
I don't know where it is. I'll find it somewhere.
That car, I still miss that car to this day.
It's a classic now.
Love that car. It was the XL. It was the round model Cortina, the 74 XL.
The 2-liter straight six.
Yeah. Straight six. 3-speed. Reverse H.
Yep.
Manual. Remember?
And the dog leg. Yep.
Yep. Jeez, that takes us back.
But now we've had a lot of people switch off.
Switch off. Please, before you go.
They're talking about cars.
Before you go, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back to wrap things up.
I'll change the subject completely 180 from cars. You know, I used to be able to play the piano by ear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to be able to play the piano by ear, but now I have to use my hands.
Oh, Dad. I wonder if the J-Man can hear you saying these things from his room, and he's going,
he's got his headphones on.
Oh, he's not hearing anything.
I actually asked him if he wanted to join. He's like, oh, join. I said, no.
Huh? Well, we've got to have him on. I still want to understand this whole fear of pill thing. I want to unpack that. I want to unpack that on an episode. I really do.
Why? Why? How much time have we got left?
No, that probably needs an episode because it's going to take a while. But
that probably needs an episode on itself.
That's right. But
so, as much as we've had some jokes,
yes.
You know, our thoughts and prayers do go out to the people of the Ukraine because
absolutely, because they're just victims.
Especially the comedian, he deserves a salute because he's really You know, from a man that was thrown in the deep end.
Absolutely.
He's really swimming, and
Oh, he's stepping up
he's
for his
worked out
country.
how to get the people right behind him. You know,
stepping up for his country, and I guess it's hard. You know, when you're from afar, you kind of want to get in there. You kind of want all the strong Western nations just to go in there and fight back, but you know what that would escalate to.
Yeah, it's
right?
how
and that's just,
the Second World War started.
Exactly right. So I guess that unfortunately isn't an option, provided that the Mad King doesn't take it too far and decide to do something else that's going to really force the hand of NATO and others. But all that aside, after having the discussion you had and what you put out on this podcast, you think about what you said and you go, geez, it kind of makes sense as to why there's this strong play for Ukraine at the moment. And unfortunately, the thought that some collateral damage is acceptable by Putin, that's the atrocity of it all. There's just
because when you think about it, why wait for 30 years? Because it was a part of Russia for 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Why wait so long?
Well, that's right. Why now? Why all of a sudden he's got in his head, I've got to do it. And given activity elsewhere in the world that's opening up opportunities, it kind of fits into place, right?
So I do apologize if your mind feels a little bit expanded, but
that's what we.
You have to give the props to the props.
Yeah,
it shows very much what's going on. So, as well as for the whole emissions thing, the whole electrification of everything. Just always keep in your mind that 70% of what is an essential part of making a battery comes from the Congo.
Wow.
The world's supply.
The Congo ain't big. It's not big.
90% of the mines that are active in the Congo are owned by the
Chinese. Yeah. They bankroll them, let's be honest.
Yeah. So for Tesla, you know, that's where they getting all the raw materials from. So emissions are one thing, but the manufacturing of whatever we need to sidestep for fossil fuels needs to come through resources anyway.
Yes.
So
yes, it's exactly right.
The irony is, if you think your alternative to fossil fuels is more greener, it's
unless it's
fooling
solar.
yourself.
Unless it's solar, I know. You got to kind of put into perspective as well.
Phil, all those solar panels also need.
Well, what do they need to create them?
To make them?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if you go solar, anything.
Yeah.
The only thing you don't need is you're going to walk everywhere. Then you just need food. But then that goes into the whole cycle. And you're going to grow the food, and anyway, it could be here forever.
Yeah. It's all the egg and the chicken.
It is. And at the moment, what's happening over in Ukraine?
And the egg's full of cobalt. The egg's
full of cobalt.
Full of cobalt.
It is. Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head what the mineral is that, like 60% of the world supply comes from
silicon chips.
From the Ukraine.
It must be the metal.
Russia. And there's already a shortage for chips now.
There is. Absolutely there is.
There's plenty of the OEMs that have yards full of cars incomplete. Like they've done all the manufacture, but they're waiting for the computers that go inside them.
Yeah. Supply chains are absolutely in chaos at the moment worldwide.
I think if you want to really simplify everything, the result of the cocoa has been the supply chain stress. Because we've never had to deal with mass closures, with staff shortages.
Yeah.
Here's something that is. There's another thing that's going to blow your mind. Shout out for Penny. She's the one that she told me this story.
Yeah,
but
shout out, Penny.
She had a relative who recently passed away, and it was very sad for her and her family, obviously. But seen her like 3 weeks after.
Yeah.
She had said this to me, and she said, and I asked her the other day. I said, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen you for a while, because you had your funeral for your relatives." And she goes, "No, you know what?" I said, "What?" She goes, "It still hasn't happened yet." You know why? And I said, "No." I said, "I don't know why." He goes, "Because shortage for grave diggers."
What?
There's a shortage of grave
Really?
diggers. Yes. When have you ever heard that? Have you
Serious?
ever heard of anything like that? So there's shortage for the people that make the hole.
Like someone who can operate an excavator, clearly.
Well, operate an excavator and
Do the prep work.
do everything that's needed to do the prep work for the plot. Obviously, you have your plot, but
yeah.
When it's time, you have to use it.
Yeah.
It needs to be ready for that. So, shortage of grave diggers.
Wow.
When have you ever heard that?
No, never. See, it's just the butterfly effect.
That's right.
It's the butterfly effect of things.
Hence, we will be most likely paying somewhere close to $3 a litre for petrol.
Wow.
Which never in our lifetimes we ever thought we'd ever see ever.
No.
Like when we were kids, we used to see well under $1.
Well under $1. Are you kidding me? You and I used to buy fuel for 67 cents or 50 cents. And when it went up to past 70 cents, we were going, oh man.
Yeah.
Fuel's getting expensive.
And now you have to sell an organ.
Well, inflation's through the roof in the US, that's
right.
going to have a knock-on effect here as well. So
that's right.
I saw today
it's the
diesel,
result for globalization.
Well, I saw diesel $2.20.
Yeah.
Down here, I don't know what it's like up out west, but down here in the southeast, $2.20. And I thought
it was a little bit less.
I thought, man, I got to go and I got to get fuel in my car. I got to get some diesel and stop driving
filled
everywhere.
with all the heaps of the cans in the back of the ute, just going all around finding a better price.
Well, that's the other thing, right? What if there's $3? I've never seen it at that much.
It's a result for globalization. Globalization. This is why having the cocoa hit just smashed all the supply chains. All the supply chains were smashed.
It's going to take a while
the lead times to bring things on the market. It's
going to take a while. And when I say while, I'm not talking months. It's going to take the best part of 3 years to recoup.
If you were one of the Reds, as in the Russians or the Chinese, where is all your power? Your power is because you're one of the integral parts for the supply chain.
Yeah.
Energy and the products.
Energy, resources.
You require resources to make it all. So it's really simple, but mind-blowing when you think about it.
It's all economics.
Yeah.
Like you said.
So if you want to look for reasons as to why all these things are happening, I think that's a pretty solid explanation. Obviously, there's many intricate explanations in the middle, but to simplify everything down to something that can be that you can have
butterfly
in your thoughts.
This goes to show that something like global warming, when you step through the process of discussion we've had, how global warming has led to this discussion about what's happening at the moment. Wow. Human beings are fascinating creatures, my friend.
The flooding that's happened in Australia,
the rain.
You cannot. This is another thing. Our esteemed Prime Minister Scott Morrison,
my man ScoMo,
had to stand up in front of all these people representing all the victims for the floods in order to tell them that it's a once in 500 year event.
Once in 500 years.
Now, how long has Australia been operating as a country?
Yeah, not 500 years, mate.
Yeah. So before there was any,
not even
I don't
done
think
3 yet. I think we've done 3.
people were having some kind of scoring system as to how to keep everything, how to keep all the records. You know, there was no indigenous person when the first fleet landed going, taking
a census.
Taking a census.
Jeez.
Like, why would you say something so ridiculously
1 in 500 year
idiotic? 1 in 500 year event. On what? Where's the basis of making that assumption?
Yeah, you should have just stuck with 100. That was a safer number.
He should have just stuck with, "I'm sorry, your home washed away."
That
would have been the better.
That empathy coach is not doing him any favors, mate. Just get rid of him or her or whoever. Just
that empathy coach must be on some serious gear.
Get rid of that subscription and just get a Jets membership. Go to the gym. Just go, mate. Maybe that clarity will give you a better sense of.
I heard that in the week, and I just face palmed. I think. Does this man just not learn anything?
Wow.
How ridiculously flawed can one human being be in such a very... And then you have the comedian who is there in the fatigues screaming on the couch going, "Look, Putin, I am on the couch, not at the end of a big table.
That's right.
I am not scared of anyone. You want to come to talk? You come talk to me right here. We sit next to each other, not on big table."
He doesn't like the table, Vladimir. He goes, "I'll meet Putin, but not at that table."
Yeah, you come sit right next to me. We will talk man to man. And I know we're supposed to have ended, but I wanted to push through one more theory.
We got one episode under an hour. That's all we need.
we have proven our point. It can be done.
It can be done. We just don't want to do it.
It can be done.
We just don't want to do it.
I've been told by many, probably a half an hour would be
really good,
easier to sell to people. But when they look at the 3 or 4 digits rather than the scene, it's like, sorry, okay.
We'll try next week. We're gonna try next week for a half an hour.
We'll
episode.
Always try.
Basically an intro.
Always try.
Finish up. Anyway, keep going.
So Vladimir.
Yep.
Vladimir from Russia.
Our bloke. Our mate.
How
Vlad.
tall is Vladimir?
He's not tall, mate. I give him. He's Kevin Hart. He's Kevin Hart size, surely.
He's 5.5 foot.
Oh, he is. Just
5.5 foot.
That's why he's always walking around.
Bloke.
That's why he's always walking around with no top on, mate. That's what it is.
That's right.
It's the look at me, big man. That's what we do.
Come on this horse.
There you go. So he's only a shorty, mate.
Instead of the horse looking down and everyone else.
He's bite-sized, Vladimir. He's not a big bloke.
So, in history, yep,
Hitler, little bloke.
Philippine. I was gonna say all these ones. For Napoleon, short bloke.
Little bloke.
Hitler,
short ass.
Short bloke. Genghis Khan, little bloke.
You're not been friends for too long, man. You had exactly the same people.
It's all short man syndrome.
It is. It's small dog syndrome, mate. It is.
It's just a little dog right behind a big fence, just making a noise.
Oh, what a noise. Just yapping away.
That's it. Little man syndrome. Always overcompensating.
Jeez.
He's got to have a big table.
That's right.
So that you got to sit all the way at the other end trying to think, who is that? It's Putin.
See? It's all
short man syndrome.
All about control.
Even for Pol Pot was a little man as well.
There you go, see?
I believe Idi Amin was not a man over 6 foot. I think we may have to
fact check that one.
Fact check that, but
fact check.
Yeah, I think it's a
little blokes, mate.
Short man syndrome.
Little angry blokes.
Short man syndrome, mate.
Oh. And on that note,
hang on, I'm just putting how tall.
Unlike this podcast episode that isn't short now.
Oh no. My apologies. We'll have to remove Idi Amin.
Idi Amin's a big bloke.
He was 1.93.
There you go. Yeah, he's 6 foot.
1 meter. No, he was 6
foot. He was a point guard.
He was
basically a point guard. He was. So, nah. I hear. And tell you that. If you start a joke with
Hitler was 175.
Yeah, was he? He was shorter than Kevin Hart.
Look, there's a whole thing. If you put into Google how tall,
every he come up
dictator, every dictator.
It's all the angry blokes. What about the Italian one? What was the Italian guy? Franco. What's his name?
It's not Franco Gozzo.
No. Who was the Italian? What's his name?
Oh, come on, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I've gone blank.
Mussolini.
How tall was Mussolini?
How tall was Mussolini? Well, he was a lot taller when they hung him when they hung him upside down by his toes.
Yeah. Mussolini. How tall was he? He'd be a short swag for sure.
1 meter, 1.69.
There you go, short ass swag. Exactly. He's shorter than me. Shorter than me. But yeah, but on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we've come
short
to the
blokes. You're on notice. We know what you're up to. Shifty. Short men.
You're short. There's no point being angry about it.
If you're a short man and left-handed, sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Anyway,
I think I did say on one of the podcasts that I saw the billboard with the shoes for Asian men with lifts.
Yes, you did. Yes, you showed us.
Yes. It's got not say anything about Asian men, but that's the billboard. It's got a little Asian guy holding shoes with lifts.
There you go.
If you're left-handed and under 6 foot, let's hope you're funny.
Well, I feel bad for you, son. I've got 99 problems, but my height ain't one. I've got 99 problems, but my height ain't one.
On that note,
thank you for joining us on the extended version of the 2 Days podcast on a Friday evening.
Yep.
Thank you, Sid. I think the topic was a very good topic, and definitely got
what's China doing in the Arctic?
Makes you ask the question and makes you think a little bit and put a bit of perspective of what's going on in the world.
It's
and the
not a conspiracy theory. I'm not. Yeah.
Unfortunate circumstances the people of Ukraine find them.
There's no for magnets in the Arctic, or
well, for the purpose of
there's no for microchips and
but thanks again. We appreciate you joining us here on a Friday night on the YouTube channel or on Spotify.
We enjoy your company.
Yeah, thanks again. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. We are going to work on a shorter version of this next week. We're going to go for the sub 45 minute and see if that gets some love. But hey, Sid, thank you.
Happy to put it out there. Thanks, Phil.
Enjoy, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the long weekend, Melbourne. Until next time.
Enjoy Labor Day.
One last thing from you before we go.
I know you want another joke.
No. Just give us the say hi to your mum for me, and we'll be off.
Say hi to your mum for me.
No, say hi to your mum for me. It's okay, guys. Bye.
See ya.